Yeah. So first things first, man. I guess let's get into it. First thing is first. I got the news. Where were you when you got the news that my boy Mike T is going to be on television this year?
I was at home, honestly. I got the notification and I was super ecstatic about it. I was happy. And I think you and I might have talked about it, maybe even Mitch on the last podcast that we did, which was a while back, that we could see him being on TV, transitioning to that. And I think a lot of NFL fans kind of figured that that's what was going to happen. It's going to
Yeah,
be really cool and really nice to see him in a different light, not taking himself too seriously, not feeling like he has to. And
yeah,
I'm excited to hear his expertise and his voice throughout the year. It's gonna be really cool to see.
yeah. So knowing what I know about Mike T, man, he's what they everybody that described him, they call him a football junkie. So for him to have the opportunity to examine all 32 teams and not have to just focus on the Steelers.
Hmm.
We're going to really get to see him nerd out a little bit, which I think is going to be cool because that's the part where, like you said, the pressure's not on. You can just be himself and really just, enjoy the game for what it is and really just give his analysis professional perspective. Obviously, the downside of that is Tony Dungy's gone, but hey, Mike T's my guy. So
Yeah,
we,
exactly.
we get to see him every Sunday night now. So that's something that, I'm looking forward to seeing. Um, I didn't want to see him in the broadcast booth like during games,
Yeah,
but to see him do the analysis piece, I think that's going to be pretty cool.
yeah. I would not be able to picture him being good in the booth. No offense to him.
Yeah, I
It
don't.
takes special personalities and voices. You need the voice for it, and he's not. No offense, but he doesn't have that kind of broadcasting voice.
Yeah, that he don't got the. I don't think he would have that 3 hours of straight up excitement. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, he don't
yeah,
got that
exactly.
in him. I don't think. But so yeah, I mean, it's been a minute since we've been up here. McCarthy got hired, all the coaching
Hmm.
changes, et cetera, et cetera. But there's been some roster moves as well that you know, what do you think about some of the roster moves? So we lost Kenny G, but we got
Yeah.
Rico Dowdle.
Yes, if you want to
Um,
start there, yeah, if you want to start there, I was going to say, Dowdle and Pittman obviously were two huge pickups in free
yep,
agency, and I really, Dowdle coming off a career year. I know he's a similar back, and the more I look back at it, because you had originally said this is Kenny was so good because he had a different, um, you know, talent to the offense. You know what I mean? Like he was one of a kind. He was like our offensive MVP in a sense. He did it
right.
all. Not really having that this year is going to be interesting. I'm wondering who's going to be the catch out of the backfield guy for us with Warren and him getting the
So
bulk
they
of
also
the
picked up
looks.
Travis Homer.
Yeah, I
I don't know
saw
if you
that
saw
too.
that, but
Yeah, that's a
he's
that's an
more of a special
interesting
teamer.
piece. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not. You can't be mad at getting a guy like Dowdle again. But Kenny G is going to be missed because of that element of being able to catch the ball out of the backfield, especially with
Yep.
how the Steelers' offense was running. There was a lot of quick passes, so
Hmm.
they're going to have to kind of hope that the run game is extraordinary this year because it seems like
Right.
the Steelers are going to be run heavy, even with the two big guys on the outside. But transitioning over to that. I mean, Pittman is just an excellent pickup for Pittsburgh. Having
I like it.
him and DK on the outside, or even moving Pittman to the slot at times, against hopefully smaller cornerbacks. It's going to be a really good look. It's kind of like who do I want to toss it up to if I had the choice? Because last year
Right.
it was only DK, so teams knew that. This year it's a little bit of different element with Pittman coming in. So I'm really happy with both of those ads.
Yeah, I agree, man. Just looking at the depth chart, like Calvin Austin's gone. He's in New York, which I think he could probably thrive pretty well in that offense. He was a receiver three regardless, though.
Hmm.
But he was my guy, so I'm kind of sad to see him go. But getting Michael Pittman, well, I think was a great pickup because it at least draws some attention away from DK. You can't just leave
Yeah.
Michael Pittman out there on the ones. I mean, you can, but he's going to make a lot of those contested catches as well. So he poses another threat, and I think it does help to also open up Pat Fryermuth as well. John Smith's gone, so that's a subtraction from offense. wasn't really productive, but he did kind of take away some, reps, a lot of reps from Pat,
Yeah.
which hopefully we get to see more of this year. And Darnell, obviously, man, if I imagine he'll be okay to go for camp and all of that. But those two guys at tight end, and then we got the two running backs. We're looking okay. I still think the Steelers go and get a receiver within the draft tomorrow, which we'll
Yeah.
get to. We'll get to in a little bit, but overall, I think the guys made some pretty good moves, in terms of bringing people in, defensively as well. What do you think about some of
Yeah.
the defensive additions?
Um, for who's it, Dean and Brisker?
Dean and Brisker also got Savage as well,
Okay.
Darnell
Yeah.
Savage as a safety.
I,
So
I'm interested. So now I am with Brisker. I think that's just a great addition. Just because Elliott already seems to have like injury issues. Um, and with Ramsey being inconsistent, I still like Ramsey back there. But Brisker brings a little bit different than energy than either of those guys. He had a really good year, obviously, with the Bears last year. So I'm excited to see what he can do to be able to plug him in. Is nice. You can never, in my opinion, have too much depth, especially on the defensive end with
that's what I was
injuries
gonna
constantly
say.
happening.
As far as the secondary goes, man, I think we got some pretty good depth, right? Because we
Yeah,
signed Asante as well, which I thought was big.
I thought that was
Um,
a good sign. And
I
then,
think
I
we
mean,
still got
again,
Echols on the roster as of right now. He might be on his way out, but just having that depth, like you said, is a big deal.
yeah, and then Dean. I mean, where do you think they're gonna plug him in? Is he gonna be the two? Is he gonna be the slot? Like Samuel's
Um,
probably playing the slot. I would imagine.
yeah. So I think I believe the way that the tentative depth chart looks, it looks like Dean's gonna be on the opposite side of
Yeah,
Joey, and Asante will kind of be backing him up on that right corner position.
yeah,
So we'll see. I know they like the idea of putting, now that we got Brisker and Deshaun Elliott's coming back, they're looking at putting
Mhm.
Ramsey out there at the nickel.
Interesting. Yeah, that's
I do like him out there at the in the safety spot. I do like him back there because also add to that depth like we talked about. We got some guys that we can move around, which I think is good. So
oh,
we'll
absolutely
we're
different
gonna
looks.
See what P Graham could do. Because Deshaun Elliott, man, he likes to play close to the line, but he's so, like you said, he kind of gets injured a lot. That's because I think he's just too small. But he's a very small linebacker is basically what he is, man. He
Yeah,
comes up and he makes
he's
those plays, So it'll be interesting to see um, what he's able. They can move him around everywhere too. We got those guys that are veterans that have been in the league for a while. That I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers do go out and still get a corner. You know, but
I think they
I
could get a
think
corner and a say. Obviously, we're going to talk about the draft in a second, but like I think they can go out and get a corner and another safety. Honestly, like I wouldn't be opposed to that because there's a safety later on in the draft that could, he can play cornerback as well. So that I have on my list that I would like to grab. But um, I mean, the defense overall, like our depth on paper is crazy in my opinion, and I'm not trying to be
hmm
biased. Like it has potential top five. I don't know if that's aggressive by me saying that. Obviously, we got to see the pieces who we draft on the defensive end as well, and see where they fit in. But right now, I mean, our linebacking depth is crazy good. I'm
yeah,
really happy with it. So
the run
plugging these other
defense,
guys in
man,
the
the run defense got to get better, obviously, man. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So having guys Cole Holcomb, I think Malik Harrison, I think they're both back, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken. We like to see Peyton Wilson get a little bit more alert with coming up off them blocks. PQ put it together toward the end of the year, though. I would say
Yeah.
for the first half of the year, I'm like, yo, PQ getting tossed around. But they was talking
Then you
about him being
had
a potential trade target, which we'll see. Crazy things
yeah,
happen Thursday
yeah.
evening. So,
But
and
then on
then we
the
got
edge,
the
you got Watt and Sawyer and Herbig and Highsmith. It's just like
yeah,
all four of those are starters, like for any other
yeah.
team.
So that's the
So
other thing, right? Because that's where Highsmith's been coming up a lot in these trade talks too. Him
yeah,
being a trade day target, and so like um, that's something that obviously we'll be looking out for because it's draft day. So it's like depending on how these evaluators look, do they see somebody in the draft that could be as good as Highsmith can be, for example, 2 3 years from now, right?
yeah.
and they may see that it's worth him letting him go for a third or a fourth, you know what I mean, something like that.
And have
Um,
Herbig just plug in right there.
and Herbie, because Herbie got to get paid, you know, because we've
Yeah.
been talking about Herbie for how long now, right?
Yeah.
Um, now is he a every? I don't know. See, he's another one that he's had his flashes in the pass rush. Forget it, right? He's a dog, you know.
Yeah.
But when it at the point of attack, when it comes to the run game, I don't know. I don't know the offseason work he's been doing. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
You
No.
know, I can't. But given by some of the film, yeah, he does look like a little bit of a liability in the run game. When you're trying to run away from TJ, you're gonna run at the other guy, and him being the other guy over there more times than not. Now you put Captain Jack in there, it's something different, right? Because
Yeah.
he's a stud for sure. So like you said, man, we got those pieces that while depth is great, I think they some people might be looking at that as well. Couple of these guys might be expendable, so we might move on from them, you know, to get some other pieces. But we got what 12 picks tomorrow,
Yeah. Over
12
the next 4 days. Yeah,
over the
yeah.
yeah over the
Yeah, I
this
know
year.
you
I mean
meant.
this draft year, yeah. So it's going to be for sure interesting. I don't know that we'll be making 12 picks. You know, I got a feeling we'll be kind
They're
of
gonna
wheeling and
trade. They're
dealing a
gonna
little bit.
trade. And that's that's what I've written down too. Like I know that Tampa is like a possible trading spot for Highsmith. And I guess like we could get their first, they get our first, and then we get their third. But the only reason why that I would think that would happen is that Steelers want Jordan Tyson,
Okay.
and grab a wide receiver early because the what I'm looking at right now. I'm sorry to jump into the draft if you didn't want to.
Now look, let's get to it. Go ahead. Let's get
Yeah.
to it.
So the way I'm looking at the first round is offensive tackle from Bama, Caden Proctor. I think at our position right now, if we don't trade.
At
So if
21. Yep.
Yeah, so if Steelers are fine with that, which I would be super happy, unless they're really
Hmm.
set on getting Jordan Tyson, they're not going to trade to Tampa. I guess Cowboys were also in the mix with that, but Cowboys have the pick ahead of us, so that doesn't make any sense to me
That's not
because
much, right?
you basically you're just going to get a third round pick for Highsmith in return. So moving up one slot for that doesn't make any sense to me because you're still going to, I would imagine, draft Proctor. Um,
Yep.
no, knock on wood. The other guy in the mix, if at 21, if they really wanted to go, is Omar Cooper Jr. He would
Yeah.
be if you're going to again if you're not going to trade up and you want to settle for a receiver in the first round, he's kind of that guy along with what's his name from A&M Concepcion.
Yep.
Um, but I think they should go offensive line right away. You know,
I think so because especially this is something I forgot to bring up and I forgot to put on my notes, but you know they're talking about Broderick Jones. The prognosis on the neck injury is not looking very good,
Mhm.
at least for the start of camp. They're trying to figure out whether or not he's gonna be good to go by the time the season starts.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, I'm sure they've been on him in terms of the medical reports and things like that. But if he can't go, then we have to get a depth piece at the tackle position, behind Dylan Cook as the starter, right? And so that's where do you look to trade? Do you look to draft in that spot? Obviously, Caden Proctor, if he's a plug and go guy, if he's a stud that we're drafting him to be, then maybe he can. They're gonna. It's
I
gonna be
mean,
a
at the
fun
end of the
camp.
day,
It's gonna be a fun camp this year.
yeah, he's. I mean, he's at the end of the day, he's a Bama guy. So Bama offensive linemen do well. He only allowed one sack all year. He was SEC's best blocker this past year. Like, sign me up. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm ready to just. We don't. There's other receiver like this isn't a deep wide receiver draft, but you can find someone later in the third round or close to the fourth that you know what, like, let's go after a wide receiver now. And if he pans out, great. If not, like, we're still going to take a
Hmm.
chance. So I
All
don't
right, so
think a
let's
wide
do
receiver
let's
is
do that then.
necessary.
Let's go by position needs, and then where you drafted.
Yeah, so the first two rounds I have Proctor, and then the second round I have if he should be there is Keelan Rutledge, guard from Georgia Tech. So
Okay.
getting the tackle and the guard on the same side of the field or same side of the ball, it would be nice to just, hey, let's get offensive lineman out of the way. That's a need. You
Hmm.
know, and let's just basically attack that. So he's that would be my ideal first two picks. If we wanted to go corner, like I'm seeing on some draft boards they're going for the cornerback from Miami, Keontae Scott. I don't.
Okay.
I think the DBs in this draft are a little bit deeper, where the Steelers can fall back a little bit until the third round with the couple of picks that they have, and get
One of the
someone.
drafts I did, I saw D'Angelo Pons in the second round,
Yeah,
which I think would be a good value pick, but I don't realistically seeing him at the bottom of the second.
I know, and that's the thing is like the guy like I would really want in the second or sorry the third round if I'm skipping over that. I don't think he's gonna fall is Anthony Hill Jr. To get
Oh
another
yeah.
linebacker. You know what I mean? I don't think he's gonna fall. So yeah, exactly.
Um,
I know
yeah,
you've
that's a
seen him
homer pick.
plenty.
I've tried to like skip past it because I'm like, I like Anthony Hill. I mean, I've watched these guys for years. Anthony Hill, Michael Taft. Like, I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, these dudes could come play for the Steelers right now. Like, I could see it.
yeah. Hill's
Um,
got that sideline to sideline speed on him that the Steelers would absolutely love to
he's a
have.
thumper, man. He's a big kid. He's a thumper. He's got some pretty good hands too in coverage. I saw him snag a couple. But he's got
Yeah,
the
I think he's gonna
physicality.
go. Yeah, he's gonna go like early to mid second round, I think. So
But we got the pieces to
that's why
move
I
up and
said
get him if he's there, right?
yeah, that's why
So
I said Keelan Rutledge. But then I also have like a guy like AJ Halsey too, out of LSU.
safety. Yep.
Yeah, so he's been getting a lot of buzz. He has been getting a lot of buzz, rightfully so. And if the Steelers are like, you know what, let's get a safety right here instead of going offensive lineman again, I think that would be our guy to grab because he should be there. Now again, we're talking about like if trades are going to happen, teams are going to move up to get certain guys. So we're just going off of
Yep.
like what we see and what
We're
is
going off
available.
what
So,
we have right now. No trades.
yeah,
Whatever's everything we got as is right
I
now.
didn't realize Josiah Trotter could be on that list too for at linebacker if we really wanted to go that way as well. But I think Rutledge or Halsey would be a great second pick for Pittsburgh.
Yes. Yep. I the early drafts that I was doing. I remember I sent you a bunch of them because I was just going crazy on it. Shout out to
Yeah,
Paul because he sent me the mock draft and I see
yeah,
everybody
that was his
just
best thing. Yeah,
doing a million different mock drafts. I had Proctor in the first, and the second round that kept popping up for me was Jeremy Bernard, uh,
on the
family
wide receiver.
receiver.
Yeah,
Yeah, which I think he could probably fit with those two skyscrapers. I think he could probably do some work in there. Um, but I think going O line first, just for a depth and insurance purposes. I think that would be the way to go first. I took the kid from Penn State, the guard. I can't pronounce his last name, so you could do it if you want.
yeah. Ione. I'm not going to try to pronounce his first one, but it's Vega Ione. They, from what it seems like, he's going to go earlier than like
Yeah,
to even reach. So that's why I immediately went to Caden Proctor because those are the
yeah,
two best available that probably would have been there. But again, Steelers could just shock us and go skill position, get a receiver. Like I said, either the A&M guy or Omar Cooper Jr.
yeah,
But
yep,
I just think the safe bet is to go offensive lineman. It can't hurt at all.
right,
He's good in the run. He's got strong hands, so let's see what he can do. And if he could fill that void right away for Broderick, then that'd be awesome. But
yeah.
again,
I mean,
I
because
think
I
first
think we
round's
do need a
offensive
guard.
lineman, offensive lineman, and
Yeah,
if they really want to go with the safety position, like I'm happy with that too. I don't think they'll be aggressive with their second pick just because we technically have three safeties right now.
yep.
But who knows?
I do like the guy who kept coming up for us too was Kamari Ramsey. Like later on,
I have him. So I had him for our third, like him or Jalen Kilgore from South Carolina.
South Carolina. Yep,
Because the reason why I like Kilgore is because he played cornerback and he played safety, so he's played both those positions. You can kind of line him up. Him and Ramsey are in a similar sense where you can line them up anywhere on the field. Now
yep.
Ramsey to me has better instinct. He gets to the ball quicker, but they're both pretty uh, undisciplined in that sense. So
There, and that's where if we get a guy later, as far as secondary guy that can really learn from these vets, because it's a big veteran room here in terms of
yeah,
secondary, so some guys that could really learn how to kind of refine some of those, those the rawness of it all. Just
Yeah.
not having to get out there early because going early, getting a corner, that wouldn't make no sense for this team. Uh,
No, not at all.
that's not a specific need. I think we do need to get a lineman. Um, again, on both sides of the ball, really. I mean, defensively, I think we would be okay if we waited. But and I'm leaning towards because I got a hunch, man. I just got a feeling that Smitty's gonna be gone. So I was like, maybe we need to go get an edge guy. Um, and so that just depends on what happens, right? Because if it does happen, then what's the kid's name? TJ. TJ. Oh, I had it written down too.
Hmm.
Hold on.
I'm looking right now, just so I can find them.
I was like, two TJs on the same team will be bugged out.
But going back to what we were saying is that this get the two offensive linemen first two rounds, and then you kind of go from there because then your third pick, um, you can go with a safety. So we don't have to
TJ.
get the it,
TJ Parker.
okay. Um, but you don't have to go with Halsey right away at safety if
Yep.
they can get you can get either Ramsey or Kilgore in the following round. So just we could sit on that. Go offensive lineman, then go Ramsey hopefully, or Kilgore, one of the two, and then
Mhm.
from there we have because they have two picks that round. So then from there, who do I have? And then honestly, there you could go with another cornerback if they really wanted to. I don't know if it would be too soon, but the dude from my notes right here, um, from OSU, Davison Igbinosun,
Yeah. Yep.
um,
He
he
was
had
on my list too.
2,800 collegiate snaps in his career. Like experience alone is huge.
Yeah.
His
That's a big
his
deal.
only downfall is the JPJ method is he had 16 pass interference calls this year, so that is a huge issue. Now
They said he cleaned it.
JPJ,
They said he cleaned it up though. He's been able to clean it up. He's gotten better with
yeah,
his hands and his footwork. So that I mean, but JPJ this past season, right?
no,
We
he
was
was
talked about it. He was phenomenal with it.
least talked about top
You
cornerback
know.
in the league. But if they can add him, he gets the DB coaches work with JPJ to learn. I think him at cornerback at the fourth pick for us I think it would be 85 would be
Hmm.
um would be really nice. So
Yeah.
they have
I
options
got
and then
at that spot. I got the linebacker from Cincinnati, Jake Golday.
oh yeah. So I didn't know if he was gonna fall there or not. Yeah, I didn't know if he was gonna fall there. I thought he was gonna be around the second round, like right after our pick. Um and what I have down for me too is Zachariah Branch
Yep. He
for
popped up
Georgia.
for
So
me
I
as
have
well.
him. Yeah, I have him at 76 for us, and I think that would be a perfect spot to then grab a wide receiver.
Yep.
We sat and we waited. We didn't rush getting a wide receiver, so he can go probably at 76 or 85 if we really choose to like wait on it. Um,
Yeah. So that's what I did. I was waiting on Zachariah. I took Golday, and then the final pick that I came out with was Elijah Surratt, wide receiver
that's
from
who I
Indiana.
had him. I had him at 99 for us as well. If the Steelers decided to not go for a wide receiver at 85, so I had Surratt at 99. Like if that's the case, he's a big receiver. He great hands. If he's covered, he still seems like he's open. One of those type of receivers. So waiting on him at
Yep.
99 could be really nice. So it's interesting to see how the puzzle pieces will work out in those first three rounds. Because
Yep.
again, we could talk about 12 picks, but that's like a 3 hour discussion. Anything after
Yeah.
round three, like we could talk about that after the first three rounds, but let's worry about the first five picks.
Yep.
Um, and I think Steelers will play it the way the Steelers do. I wouldn't be surprised if they added a linebacker at like their third pick, for the
Yeah.
third round. So, but I don't know. I
Yeah.
think you can go.
no, as you know, man, this is always a crapshoot. You could draft and everything feels great, and then it falls apart. You know what I mean? But you can also
Yeah.
draft terribly as well and take Terrell Edmonds in the first round when there's mad other people on the board, or what was it, Jarvis Jones, or we just can't have no kind of picks like that, because I'm going really.
Yeah, I honestly I would be kind of surprised. No, I can't say I would be surprised, but Steelers should keep that first the pick, stay in at 21, go after Proctor, and then build off that. And if they want to kind of go against, like, okay, we draft offensive lineman, let's go defense. That's cool too. But I would really prefer them offensive lineman, then go either cornerback or safety, whatever they feel is necessary, and then they'll probably go linebacker at some point. Like, it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. You and I both know that. And then they
Yep.
definitely need to get a receiver, whether that be at, what is it, 85 or 99. One of those two picks, in my opinion, need to be a wide receiver.
Yeah. So speaking of wide receiver, because I don't think we talked about it, what do you think is going to happen with Roman Wilson?
Your guess is as good as mine. There doesn't seem to be much confidence on both ends. It's not.
Yeah.
He didn't get a crazy amount of targets. He had his moments where he flashed last year, but nothing really stood out. Where, like, oh, this is a number two guy, or even like, hey, this is a number three guy. So I'm not, and that's why Steelers are going to draft a receiver, is because they're going to see, okay, what's Roman? What does he got? Does he have that dog in him where he's not going to lose this wide receiver three spot, or is it going to be like he's our wide receiver four, this rookie is our wide receiver three? So
Hmm.
I I'm just interested to see how he does in the mini camps and see where it goes from there. But he hasn't really given me much to go off of.
I know I want to have so much hope in that boy, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just in between the ears or what, but he hasn't been able to get onto the field, so I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess, like you said, we'll see what happens. So real quick, before we move on from the draft part, what's the best graded draft that you came up with, and what are the
I
picks?
I had a well, I can't look right now. I had a B plus, but it kind of was on the same line of I had Caden Proctor, I had Keelan Rutledge. No, sorry, I had Anthony Hill Jr.
Okay.
But again, man, he's probably not gonna fall that far. Then I had Kilgore for at 76, and then I might have. I think I might have then gone with Igbinosun at 99, but I don't think he'll fall that far.
Hmm.
And then, but for my, what was it, 99? I think I might have thrown in a wide receiver. I think it was yeah, Surratt. I think I
Okay.
had him at 99. So yeah, I had a B plus for that. But that's like if everything works out fine, and obviously trades are going to happen, and if
Hmm.
Steelers do trade Herbig and trade 7 picks up, then that changes a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah. So
What
I
about
got
you?
I got an A minus on this one, which was like the only one I actually had an A minus on.
Yeah,
Um,
it's good though.
with the first round, we went with Ione of Penn State. Uh,
Yeah.
Second round, we took D'Angelo Pons with the 53, and then Kamari Ramsey, the 76th. Jake Golday with 85, and then Elijah Surratt at 99. Um,
Yeah.
so like you said, we'll see where the night goes, where the weekend goes. We'll see if any additions are made, from free agency or anything like that, or any conversations about potential trades or anything. But that's how I got it lined up. Now, this brings me to the next part. I didn't hear throughout any of your picks a quarterback.
Yeah. Weak quarterback class, obviously. So there's no surprise. I don't think it's that big of a surprise. I honestly feel like Steelers could draft a quarterback in the seventh round or sixth round, and it is what it is.
Hmm.
There's low expectations at
What do
that
you think
point.
about that old guy that hasn't said anything about whether or not he's going to actually play for our team again?
I, I don't understand the Steelers in the sense of waiting around, because seeing what they've done in the offseason right now in free agency, It seems like they're in win now, and even though the guys that they got are still young, like they can stick around, it seems like they're in win now. And we've seen Rodgers last year. We've seen the good, we've seen the bad, and we've seen the horrible.
Hmm.
So what's going to change next year? He has another big target on the outside. Like, how is the offense going to change in the sense of there's going to be quick passes thrown still? He's got to gain trust from the offensive lineman. Who knows if there's two rookies starting for him, on his blind side. So a lot goes into factor. I just want Will Howard to get a freaking chance. Like, I feel bad for
Right.
him in this whole thing because I don't even think he's number two on the depth chart. It's Mason, but again, we've seen Mason
Yeah.
plenty of times. Why not give Will a chance and just say didn't work out? And
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the fan that says give him a chance. He's going to be amazing. He's this, he's that. No, but give him a chance.
Give him an
If you're going to go
opportunity.
another year with Rodgers, that's not doing much for Howard at this point, and it's not doing much for the team. Now, if he comes
No.
in and he absolutely stinks, at least we know. 2 weeks in,
Right.
like at least we know. Then go to Mason, or if you draft a quarterback, if Rodgers isn't there, then you go to the other quarterback. But not giving a guy a chance that, in my opinion, deserves it at the very least. I'm just saying he's earned it or whatnot, but just give him a
Right.
shot. Just give him a
So what do you
shot.
what do you think is happening with the between the organization and Aaron? Do you think he's actually been in touch with them, or do you think they're just saying that? Like, oh, we've been having good talks. Like, what do you think is actually happening there?
I
Because
mean,
in my mind, if you guys are having good talks and they sound positive, then why isn't he in the building? Why hasn't this been sorted yet?
yeah, it's weird, and I'm wondering how much of control he has with McCarthy too.
Right.
Obviously their history together for close to a decade, and at least that's what it seemed like. So I wonder how much control he has over that, and talks with him as well of like, hey, just hold off, like nothing's to me, nothing right now is going to change in 2 months. I feel like his
Right.
mind is. I feel like his mind. If your mind isn't made up now, then why even be a part of this team? And why would the team want him? Like,
Right.
you're
We're
not
a week
30
away
year
from
old
May.
Rodgers. Yeah, you're not 30-year-old
We're,
Rodgers where you could just come into training camp and everything's good. And we know
yep.
that you're good. There's a lot more that goes into play with that. So I would like them to make a decision and not wait. It just seems silly to me. And like having it back to back seasons to deal with this in the offseason as a fan is just it's frustrating.
Yeah. It doesn't seem. I mean, he didn't blow the roof off last season. You know what I mean? This is a guy who we've talked about, for throughout his career. Oh, he hasn't had any first round receivers. He's only thrown 2 touchdowns the first round. You know what I mean? So it's like he can make it work with who we got. And he didn't
Mhm.
necessarily do that, right? The
Yeah.
Steelers won 10 games. Well, the Steelers won 9 games, and then the Ravens gave him the last one, right?
Yeah.
And so like we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly with Aaron, and I think that's the most we're gonna get out of him, right? And the talk has always been, well, they just need to get him another receiver. All right, so Mike Pitt came through what, a month ago, a month and a half ago. At this point, what other decisions do you need before you decide whether or not you're gonna come out and continue to play? I know people got personal things they got to deal with and all of that stuff, but the talk was, oh, I'm not gonna give y'all a runaround this time around, right? It was like I'm gonna make sure y'all know early if I'm gonna do it, and like tomorrow's the draft, so like what's early? What is early?
Yeah.
Because you made a decision in what, like June last year, or like the end of May? Like we're coming up on May next week, so what is early exactly? Because like
Exactly.
this
And
is
it's not
this
like
dragging things along, and like you said, with the depth chart, right? Mason and Will are working as the 1 and 2, however you want to look at it. Now they're just working as the 1 and 2. They're getting reps, and then all of a sudden, this guy comes in and it's, oh, bump back down again for another year. And
yeah.
for what? What does that do? Does it take the offense to a whole nother level? We don't know because we haven't even really got to see these guys work. We got to see Mason, play what in Chicago. Um, I don't know, man. He didn't look a whole lot different than the way Aaron looked out there all year, right? So
No, yeah, no, I agree.
it's gonna be interesting. I wouldn't spend a draft pick on any of the quarterbacks in this draft. I just wouldn't. You know, I didn't really like many people in free agency either as far as quarterbacks went. So that's where it's like you said, give Will a chance. the worst that could happen is he plays terrible, and then we got a good pick next year.
The worst thing,
And
the worst thing is that he plays terrible, and the defense wins us games, just like it's been for the past 5 seasons. So 5+
right,
seasons. So like, what's like? It's not how much is it? Unless he's really turning the ball over a lot. Like I feel like any quarterback could have been the Steelers quarterback for the past 5-6 years, and nothing would have changed. Like it would have been the
nothing,
same
because
result.
nothing
So
has,
yeah,
nothing has. But
exactly.
you know, alleged. I mean, well, the head coach has changed now, so
Yeah,
will we lose? Will we lose more if the quarterback play is bad? Will we lose more
yeah,
this year? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's tough to really predict, but we'll see how things go, man. Um, I'm really sad that I'm not there for the draft in Pittsburgh
yeah.
this year. I heard James Conner's gonna be there, announcing
That's
the
dope.
Cardinals pick, so that's pretty cool.
That's dope.
Um, yeah, so I know the I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be locked in. It's gonna be electric. It's like football's back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um, so I'm thinking some crazy stuff's about to happen. I don't know with our team in particular, but I just feel like there's gonna be some wild trades going on tomorrow, or at least in the
yeah.
next
Literally.
like week over the weekend for sure. Um, so this is always the part that gets me excited, man. You know?
No, I'm super excited. It seems like tomorrow too is like you're waiting and waiting and waiting. It seems like it's forever, and then it's like it's only pick five, and like when the hell is Steelers picking it, you know? And then the next couple days, it's just like where the hell did the draft go?
Yeah, I remember last year I was it took forever to get to our pick, and I'm like, yo, I gotta piss. I can't miss the pick though. I gotta wait. I'm waiting.
Yeah,
Derek Harmon, what the hell? Ah, man, this is some dumb shit.
I
I
waited for
mean,
this.
worked out. The kid is a stud, but I mean, I was expecting Shador, and I guess we must have dodged a bullet, kind of.
Yeah,
But also it's tough because it's Cleveland, and Cleveland just stinks. So
yeah,
I don't know. Um, but I'm looking forward to seeing the guys, the additions that we get to the team, and obviously we'll be back. We could do post draft, or we could kind of go into camp and see. I think June 1st is like where all those designations and stuff start to take place. So we could probably wait till then.
yeah.
But
Whenever you were, yeah, we could do post draft and also do June 1st as well. I think it would be good to talk about our thoughts on our draft picks, what we think now. Like, we'll have a better idea of like, okay, so Steelers focus on this area big time. So let's see what players are going to be around, what players aren't going to be around. But that's obviously for after. But I'm definitely excited about this. I like the roster right now, more so than I have in the past years, and we haven't even drafted yet because
yeah,
Steelers
Omar
don't
Khan
go, go into free
he made some
agency.
great moves, man. And it's we normally don't splash like that in the free agency.
No,
You
this is
know,
the best free agency from since I can remember being a fan, which is coming up on 30 years. But
yeah,
we just don't go hit free agency. Like they never do. And they did it this year with 12 draft picks too. Because if there was ever going to be a year where they don't hit free agency, this would have been the year. So it's
yep,
like it's just funny to me because it's like we hit it. Now we have 12 picks to use. Trade away, maybe move up. Get a couple draft picks or move up in the draft or whatever it may be. So they have a lot that they could work with, which is nice.
yeah. I like I said, I don't think they're gonna make all 12, but if they do, we'll see, man. As long as these guys are coming out and ready to be competitive, because we the North champs and we got to defend the crown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, brother, man. So, if you don't got nothing else, then we can wrap it up right there.
I got nothing else. It was good talking with you, getting back on, talking, Steelers football. It's the best time of the year. Well, not right now, but talking Steelers football is the best time of the year. So I'm
Yes, sir.
just ready. I'm ready and I'm excited. This has got me itching for sure.
All right, dog. We'll talk after the draft, man. Take it easy, bro.
Absolutely. You too.